Predict compliance timelines is compliance software for a specific operational decision, predicts realistic timelines for implementing regulatory changes based on organizational capacity and complexity. This video explains what the tool does, why the workflow matters, and how the output becomes useful decision evidence. The problem is that compliance teams often manage this workflow with scattered inputs, inconsistent review rules, and manual interpretation. At quarantadue.ai, every MCP workflow starts from the real tool interface, not from a generic prompt. The goal is simple. Keep the expert in control while the system structures the evidence. Inputs, reasoning, and outputs stay connected in one reviewable flow. Now the results become easier to compare, easier to review, and easier to explain. Predict compliance timelines narrows that process into a repeatable model so teams can compare cases without rebuilding the logic each time. Predict compliance timelines starts with a defined input contract. Typical inputs include regulatory complexity score, affected business units, process change depth, technical integration level, and geographic dispersion. Keeping these fields explicit reduces ambiguity and makes every run easier to audit. The workflow then applies calculate baseline implementation effort in-person months by combining regulatory complexity, affected business units, process change depth, and technical integration level with appropriate weighting factors. Calculate organizational capacity factor by comparing available compliance team capacity against existing framework effectiveness and stakeholder resistance penalties. Determine geographic complexity multiplier based on dispersion level, with low dispersion having minimal impact and high dispersion adding significant coordination overhead. Calculate most likely implementation timeline by adjusting baseline effort with geographic multiplier and dividing by organizational capacity factor, and calculate timeline confidence range as a percentage of predicted months based on regulatory complexity risk factor. This keeps the process deterministic, reviewable, and aligned with how compliance teams actually make decisions. Predict compliance timelines returns structured outputs such as predicted timeline, timeline lower bound, timeline upper bound, implementation risk level, and timeline build-up analysis. These outputs are designed to support review, reporting, comparison, and follow-up actions. The value of predict compliance timelines is not just automation. It is a controlled way to turn repeated compliance work into a documented business process with clear inputs, transparent logic, and reusable outputs.